Yes, no.
Always. Hello. And welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. We are finally back together. No more online.
It was 1 week.
It felt like a long time.
You missed me that much?
I did.
Jeez.
It's hard talking to a screen, man.
Like horrible. It's not even hard. It's just horrible talking to a screen.
I don't like it at all. And then you had people behind you. And I was like, this guy's getting lunch while I'm trying to record a podcast.
The waiter was standing there like with my lunch, and I'm like, dude, okay, carry on. Anyway, it was quite funny.
How you doing?
I'm very good, but you?
Good. So, I feel like we've spoken about this a lot in various forms of the podcast, in rooms and all of that. But it's something that has just been bugging me for the past few weeks. So, we run leads on Facebook. Well, we run leads from pretty much wherever we can farm leads from.
Yeah.
And one of the questions is we always ask people, do you have a business?
Yeah.
And usually the answer is yes. And then we have their title or whatever their position is. And we have CEO.
Yeah.
Then we have how many people on your team?
Not.
And it's 0.
Yes. And then, do you have a registered business number?
Not yet. So you're CEO of what?
Of an unregistered business.
With no people.
It's just, but isn't it just part of this world is people are so stuck in title and what they can pretend to call themselves and the bullshit of, the bullshit of pretending.
Yeah.
Pretending to be someone.
Yeah.
Pretending to have a title, pretending and thinking that if I can call myself something and if I can throw all this, especially in the social media space, throw all this stuff out, people are going to believe me. Sadly, people do believe them.
Yeah, I think that's actually the saddest part is that people believe them, but I think more than anything, people start to believe their own nonsense.
Yeah.
You start to believe that you are CEO, and I'm like, but
until you hang out with a real CEO and he'll smell that you know a CEO and then you're done because you can only what's that saying, you can only bullshit some of the people some of the time, most of the people most of the time, but you can't bullshit all of the people all of the time. And what I've learned is you can't bullshit the right people all the time.
Yeah.
They'll find you out, they'll figure you out, and you'll come undone.
So, I mean, you've had this business for 20 years now, right?
Yeah, going on 20 years.
20 years. Have you ever called yourself CEO?
No, I'd make a shit CEO.
Why?
Because I would. I said right in the beginning, I said, I never want to be CEO of my business. As it grows, I don't want to be CEO. I want to build a business that allows me to be able to do what I love doing, and that's teaching, training, developing people, being in rooms, being with businesses. That's what I love doing, and I want to develop. I've always wanted to develop someone in my business who'll be the CEO. So ultimately, Nicole, my wife Nicole, will ultimately be CEO as our business grows because that's her key skill. She's way more organized than me. I mean, I create chaos in business. It's a gift. It's one of my skills. But so a CEO for me is there to manage the organization and hold that space. But I mean, CEO is a title, Chief Executive Officer. Real CEOs are running big organizations, not 10-man organizations, that do 10 million or 20 million rand a year, but big organizations. That for me is so. Yes, you can be managing director. Am I the managing director? Yes, for fiduciary purposes, yes. But in the structure of our business, I mean, we don't, as you know, I mean, we don't have those names in our business. We utilize all the stuff that we've learned and developed from Gino Wickman's Traction.
Yeah.
My role in the business is visionary. I'm responsible for strategic direction, for long-term vision of the business. Nicole is integrator, which essentially is the CEO, but she is, or the COO, Chief Operations Officer. She's the integrator, so she brings everyone together. You're the lead person in marketing.
Yeah.
So you are lead marketing, then we have sales. I fit in as lead in sales, and then I have a sales team. Then Nicole is lead in finance, and we have a finance team. And then Nicole is lead in admin and operations, and she has an admin and operations team. And so that's how we structure our business. And yeah, but I think, go back to it, I think people get so lost in titles. You know, one of my mentors, I loved a saying he used to have. He would say, "Call me whatever you want, just pay me the money." You know, and his world was, you don't get paid because of title, you get paid because of results. So it doesn't matter what they call you. You can call yourself whatever you want, but if you can't deliver results, well, you're going to be a broke friggin' CEO that doesn't have a business. You know, so
that's a good point there, right? Because that's what's ultimately, that is what CEOs get paid for, and this is also another topic we've discussed a lot with the whole tax the CEOs, tax them more all around, like, and that's a global thing. It's not just America, for example. But those guys get paid for results, and a lot of people don't understand that. You have no real concept of what it is that that person delivers. Therefore, for you, it's just like, oh, but he makes X amount of money, tax him on that.
Yeah, but so most people just look at it as though that's his salary, it's exorbitant. But they don't really, I honestly believe most people don't really understand, have no concept or no context of what it takes to run an organization with 6,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, to be responsible right at the top of an organization, to report into shareholders, to report into public shareholders, to report into a board of directors, to manage money responsibly, you know, and you paid on results, you know. So you've got to deliver the results, and you know, many people can't even manage their own budget, let alone the budget for a business. So and I think people just see the money, but they don't take into account the context and the responsibility. And yes, is there abuse? Of course there is, like anything. I get that, but the reality is the key component is the upside of any CEO should be based on performance and results. Now it depends on what those performance metrics are, and then we can open a whole debate around whether they are ethical, where some of them are ethical, legal, moral, and all those type of things. It's a very different deal. But in the simplicity of it, you know, you have a huge responsibility. You have 10,000 people, for example, in an organization. You're the CEO. You are responsible. You're also legally liable for many things in that organization. That in some cases you can get sued in your personal capacity and go to jail. You know, people do something wrong in the organization. You know, we've talked about this before, but you look in the mining industry. You know, general managers, managing directors, CEOs can be held criminally liable, and they can be held liable for if there's an accident underground and all that sort of stuff. You can end up going to jail. Goodness me. Well, you know, I don't know, the person cleaning the offices who may be complaining that the CEO earns too much money is not going to go to jail if there's an accident. So levels of responsibility and your governance responsibility and fiduciary responsibility is huge. It's not just, you know, it's not just rock up to work and get paid huge money, and that's where people make a mistake. They get it wrong. They go to university, get a degree, and think, oh, I'm going to be the managing director, pay me lots of money, I'll sit around and be the boss and manage people. No, there's a massive friggin' responsibility, man.
So I mean, you've worked with, and you currently still work with, some big CEOs, some big founders, and it's people that our audience, actually most people would never know about. You will never know about them.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I don't spend much time in the big blue chip businesses, so so you know, the MDs and CEOs that I work with and have done for many years run organizations that would be anywhere sort of from 200 million rand up to 2.5-3 billion rand. You know, employ I don't know, anywhere from 150 people to 600 or 700 people. So yeah, and in anyone's terms, those are sizable friggin' organizations with lots of responsibility and lots of moving parts and lots of things happening and lots of things that can go wrong, and lots of responsibilities. You know, so and So it's interesting how this idea of if I just give myself a title, people will think I'm important, and it's just I think it's so misguided. You know, it's the same deal as if I just take a photograph with someone important, everyone else is going to think I'm important, or someone famous. Sure, if that floats your boat, well, like anything, eventually you'll be found out. You know, you can take as many photographs as you want with Robert Kiyosaki, but if you never worked with him, someone will find out sooner or later. You know, there's only, again, I'll go back to, there's only so many people you can bullshit all the time.
Yeah, that's very true. What's some of the things you've learned from the people that you've worked with in terms of like CEOs? I mean, because for me, I'm sitting there going, wow, 150 people is a lot, right? To lead and manage 150 people. I think when you hear that number, you don't really, you're like, it's not, but put 150 people in a room and you'll actually see the amount of what it is.
So I think, you know, the hardest thing in any business is building a team.
Yeah.
The hardest thing in any business is putting together groups of people, or a group of people to move in the same direction. So the bigger your organization gets, the harder it is to hold the space of that organization. The more you have to build your leaders so that your leaders are leading people, not managing people, but leading people. And I think, you know, that's the hardest thing, and it's finding the right people. You know, Barney Haramsa, who's the founder of Paratus, you know, he said to me, he said, you know, Barry, that probably the most important thing I've learned in business is when you find the right people, do whatever you can to keep them. When you find that the wrong people, move them on as quick as possible. And I think what happens is a lot of times, as your organization grows, you either don't create clarity in who the right people are, or you hold on to the wrong people too long, and people problems are generally the biggest problems of all.
Yeah. I mean, would you say that, especially in South Africa, would you say that just comes down to sort of like the labor laws?
Because no, I think it comes down to people, Sully. Yes, I think the labor laws all over the place play into that sort of stuff, but I think it's people. It's attracting the right people, it's getting clarity on the context of your business, being very clear on the values, being very clear on the behaviors that you want, what are the behaviors, and then bringing people in who are prepared to play the game the way you play the game, and go from there, and then managing that accordingly. But you know, when you've played sport all your life.
Yeah.
You know, you can play exactly the same game with the same rules in a team that is not cohesive and doesn't get on.
Been there.
You're shit.
Yeah.
You can have a bunch of stars, you'll be shit.
Yeah.
You can pull together a group of mates that all behave in the same way, get on like a friggin' house on fire, have the same values, and you can perform. You know, so same game, same rules, same everything. And so business is the same. It's first of all about bringing together that group of people and hiring people who are going to play the game the way you play. You know, in our little team, and we have a little team, but in our little team, we play the game the same way. We have the same, and that's taken us a long time to build up, but we are more and more clear. And originally, where do those behaviors come from? They come from me.
Yeah.
It's how I behave. It's how I play the game. It's what I expect. It's how I lead.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the sort of that's what you want to build. And as we grow and as our business moves into 20, 30, 40, 50 people, that's going to be the hardest thing is to maintain the culture that we have and attract the right people into our culture. And when we find that the wrong people come in, to move them on as quick as possible. They're not bad people, they're wrong people. They don't fit in, and when they don't fit in, that's when you'll create conflict and confrontation, and that's when you create problems in your business.
So there was something that was said at the Ultimate Greatness Experience that we did, 2026 Ultimate Greatness Experience. just putting it out there, 2026, for those of you who might be interested, it will change your life. Just saying. There was something that was said around HR, and I think it was from the head of HR for Tiger Willenthuysen.
Yeah.
And she said, people forget that HR is there to protect the company, not the people. And that did my head in, because I was like, wait a minute. I thought that HR was here to protect the people. But the way she explained it got me to understand it a lot better, because it's sort of like what you're saying, right? We're trying to move the business with a group of people who fit in the right way. We're pulling in the right direction. And then that, by that definition, it should make it easier to move people on, right? Because you don't fit in, you're not pulling in the same direction as us. But people, it seems like, especially here in South Africa, it seems like it's the other way around, where people are like, no, HR is here for me. HR is here for the people.
Well, yes, so they're there for the company.
Yeah.
But the people form part of the company.
For sure.
Okay, so and all the people form part of the company.
Yes.
So HR's responsibility is to make sure that all the people within the company are operating at their optimum level of performance, also operating within exchange, so that they're being treated fairly.
Yes.
They're getting their return that they're due to get based on their agreements, and they're also performing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to manage that exchange within the business, so that at the end of the day, the business is succeeding. Because you can just manage and all the people can get whatever they want, but if they are not performing and they are not delivering, well, the business is going to die.
Yeah.
So then there will be no HR and there will be no people, because then you end up having to do retrenchments and all that sort of stuff. So for me, in the HR's role is to manage and make sure that the people component within the business, throughout the business, that's all the people within the business are operating within the confines of creating the right results for everybody, so that everybody is benefiting. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me, because there was also the other piece. What was it now? Oh, the piece around sort of when people, especially in businesses, right? People go, okay, well, it's HR's. So Barry's not performing. It's HR's problem.
No, it's management's problem.
And then HR goes, I don't even know what this. You managing them.
Yeah.
Why are you not disciplining them? And when it gets to that point, then you come to me, right? That was kind of what I got from it.
Well, I think for me, and this is my take, is that if I'm in a business and I'm working with, and I have an HR team, the HR team is skilled and has knowledge that I don't have. So let me put it like this. So in business, I have an attorney.
Yes.
So I have an attorney who is not in our business, but he's my attorney.
Yes.
So whenever I want to go into an agreement or something, I go sit down with my attorney. I send him the documents. Why? Because he has knowledge that I don't have. I do the deal. He doesn't do the deal. He doesn't do the deal if I don't know, if I'm doing a new deal for technology, or I'm signing a new contract to partner with someone, or I'm bringing in, or we're doing new shareholders in a business or something like that. I will sit and negotiate the deal, but my attorney gives me the advice on what I need to do and how I need to do it. And for me, HR serves the same role, is that when you're a manager, you need to be sitting down with HR saying, this is where I sit, this is what's happened, this is what's transpired. How do I move forward so that I am ensuring that I'm doing it legally, ethically, and morally? Okay, gotcha. So that it becomes a win-win. And a win-win is this, is that the ultimate win-win is that if Suli's not performing, okay, how do I address it with Suli so Suli starts performing? So if Suli starts performing and I continue paying him what we agreed, then it's win-win for both of us, because you're performing, you're starting to deliver in the company, but the company and you and me, we're all winning moving forward. If Suli doesn't continue performing, well, how do I do it so that it's still win-win, that you move on legally, so that I'm not victimizing you or doing anything like that. I'm doing it by the book, I'm doing it legally, and at the end of the day, if you continue not performing, then you will be moved out of the business. And then the business is in a situation where the business is protected because we're not carrying a non-performer, and we can now hire a performer.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. What happens is you will be not performing, I'll sit down with you, and then you'll say, no, but now you're victimizing me, because the reality is if you have clear agreements, if you are following a clear process, and you sit down with the clear process, then you can manage it accordingly. And for me, that's where HR comes in, because HR understands that. Like my attorney understands the law,
Yes.
HR understands the HR side of the legal side, and the doing the right documentation and the process side and all that sort of stuff. But it's still your responsibility as a manager, a leader, or an owner to take the process. You're managing the team. You're managing the people. Those are the people that come to work with you every day.
Yeah.
I think too many people abdicate that responsibility. Oh, I don't want to do that. So HR, you handle it. So I still want to. I want to be the good guy, but you go get rid of my problem children.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that must be like 10 times worse in a small business, right? Because you more than likely don't have an HR department.
Correct.
Or an HR team.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
You are HR, you are payroll, you are all those things. And that makes it 10 times harder for a small business owner to get people in or out. Because you also don't have clear processes on what that actually looks like.
So that's why, that's why processes are so important. When you hire someone, are you clear on what their deliverables are? Do you sit down with them at the end of their first month and review their deliverables? Do you sit down with them after the second month? And are you clear in how to fix those? Are you clear in what the next steps are, and so on and so on?
Yeah, I mean, it's like how often are you sitting down with them?
Yes.
Right? Because you don't want to, so let's just say the probation period is 3 months. New person comes in, probation period is 3 months. You don't want to get to the third month and then sit down and talk about performance and say, I'm moving you on. Because you haven't spoken about my performance in the first 2 months.
And therein lies the risk, because what happens in small businesses is you get busy and you're running all over the place, and you deem to do it, and then suddenly you have a new employee, a new person in the team, and suddenly you go 7 weeks down the line and you haven't addressed stuff. They may not be performing at optimum, you haven't addressed it, and so it's becoming more and more deliberate around when and how you need to do it. But I also think it's twofold. It's very easy to blame the business owner or to blame the manager for not doing the review. Oh, well, my manager or the business owner never reviewed. But we're adults. So on the other side, if I hire you and we have a 3-month probation and I say we need to sit down every month, well, surely part of the obligation is on your side to say, hey Barry, when are we going to sit down and review?
Yeah.
I want to review because I'm performing. So I want to know that I'm performing. I also want to know where I'm not performing. But what I see very often is people will hide away and then get to 3 months and say, oh no, but my manager never reviewed with me. I'm not performing, but I won't admit I'm not performing, but he never reviewed, so you can't. I think it's twofold.
Yeah, I would actually agree.
Because that's responsibility. It's in today's world, it's so easy for people not to take responsibility and to abdicate responsibility and to throw blame and all that sort of stuff around, instead of actually just, if you hire me, I want to sit down at the end of the month and say, Suleman, can you and I sit and review my performance? Am I on track? On track? What can I change? Where am I at? Rather than me going, hey Suleman, can I sit? Or you sitting down saying, hey Barry, can I sit down with you and let's review? Right? This is what you're doing wrong. I want to grow. I'm vested in the business. I want to be. I want to go to the next level.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, because I was actually listening to a clip. They were talking about BE and what's the other one? BBBE, whatever it is.
And the one of the main things was about how BEE was about people of color in corporate businesses being given that sort of accelerated growth, but like learning. So like, we are going to send you to this course, we're going to send you to this, and you're going to get that accelerated growth quicker. And I'm saying that because what you just said to me that makes me go, okay, cool, let's just say you sending me on these courses.
Yeah.
When am I putting my hand up to say, okay, cool, I've went on this course, I've implemented X from a performance base. Are you seeing a difference?
Yeah.
No, I'm not seeing a difference. Okay, so maybe I implemented the wrong thing.
Or what do I need to do?
Or what do I need to do better
Yes.
to move forward?
Yeah.
And I think that it's so interesting because people don't think like that.
Well, why don't they think like it?
I feel like my honest opinion is because that's school, right? You go to school, they tell you when you're gonna get your marks get told to you at the end of every term or semester
Yeah.
or whatever it is. I think that it's more of a waiting thing.
So most employees get paid to do what, Suleman?
Show up.
To work.
Yeah.
You get paid to work.
Yeah.
I go to work.
Yes.
I worked all day. I've
Yes.
been busy.
Yeah.
So I've been at the office. I've been doing my stuff. I sent out emails. I made phone calls. Great.
Yeah.
So you get paid.
Yes.
Okay. But they don't get, most employees don't look at it and say, I get paid for results. So we don't create clarity in results, and then we don't manage people on results.
True story.
So you manage activities to create results. But what are your results? Because after 3 months, if you're not creating the results that you are hired to create, well, then you're not performing.
Fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get selected for the South African 4x100 sprinting team, and I can't break 10.5 seconds.
You gotta go.
I'm not going to make, because it's a result, doesn't matter. I've been to every single practice, I train every day, I watch what I eat. Who gives a shit?
Nobody. You had to do. You
I'm-
had to deliver.
I'm out of the team because Suleman Steele runs at 9.98 and comes on and comes to trials and kicks my ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm off the team.
Mm.
But I worked hard, but I trained hard, but I did this, but it's unfair. No, cuck.
Yeah.
So why when you take it into sport, and that's why I love sport as
Yeah.
an analogy. And so many employees who support sports teams, just look at friggin' rugby supporters and soccer supporters. You know, fire the coach.
Yes.
Why? Not because he's not working hard, because he's not creating results. But goodness me, don't fire me at work if I'm not creating results. Okay. Does that make sense?
Oh gosh, that was nuts.
So the same people will be jumping up and down, fire the coach, kick out the striker, kick out the full back. You know, I mean, I look at rugby. You know, I don't know. Marnie Liver can't. When he wasn't. I'm pretty sure that he was working damn hard, but he wasn't creating results.
Yeah.
All the rugby fans were like, kick him out, you can't. But the same people will be going to work complaining to their boss that it's unfair that you want to move me on. You want to get me off the team because I'm not creating results.
You're being Mani Lebok right now.
Well, what's the difference? You're not doing your sales calls, so that means you're missing the friggin' post.
Regularly.
You're not doing sales calls. That means you're not scoring from a corner. That means you're not passing the ball properly. You're not sticking to the game plan. What's the difference?
There isn't.
So when you take that context, we're paid to get results.
Yeah.
Why? Because results create growth.
Yeah.
You know, so your favorite team, Liverpool. If they want to get more money next year, they better win. They got to win titles. They got to win, so they generate income. So their brand grows. They're getting more
100%.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
If I don't know who's their major sponsor.
Major sponsored now is Nike.
Okay, so
No, Adidas. Sorry.
So Adidas is Liverpool's major sponsor. So let's say Liverpool end up in relegation zone.
Nah, Adidas is ours.
Well, Adidas going to come to Liverpool and say, oh well done guys, you tried really hard.
We saw you try.
You worked really hard. You rocked up to practice, and you guys, but you're now in first division.
Championship. Yeah.
You got relegated. They're not going to throw more money.
No.
And Liverpool, what, they're going to jump up and down and say, that's unfair, we tried hard, we came to work every day. No.
Guys, let's go.
So when you take that context, take that back into work.
Yeah.
Take that back into work. I mean, one thing that I teach, where a lot of times within businesses, people have a big aha, is the one department in business, in many companies, that always produces results is payroll.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, everyone gets paid on time.
Not fail.
So, and then I ask, why does payroll do it? And people say, because they have to, because we owed our money.
Oh.
They have to because we worked hard. They have to because we created results. And then I asked the question, I go, have any of you ever been paid, got your salary on time when you didn't work hard, when you didn't create your results, when you didn't perform? And everyone goes, yes, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's where, so I go, well, so you don't actually get paid because you perform. You don't get paid, you get paid because HR and payroll have a high level of accountability. Why? Because God forbid that they didn't, you would be jumping up and down, shouting and screaming at them because your pay didn't arrive on time, and your debit order's a thing. So next time you're going to make an excuse for not making your sales calls, or make an excuse for not delivering on time, or make an excuse for not ordering raw materials so that production can do it, or make an excuse for not finishing your report on time, or make an excuse because you're the financial manager and you didn't get your financials in time. Imagine that the HR person was standing in front of you making the same excuse on why your salary didn't get paid. Oh, I was busy, or oh, I was on holiday, or oh, I was on leave. Just imagine that in that moment, HR is going to make the same excuse to you. How would that make you feel?
Most people
but people don't look at it like that,
No.
because we're not, generally people aren't driving themselves on results. What are the friggin' results? You're driven on results. Then you've got to take it back and drive the activities that create results. Drive the processes that create results. Does it mean we create results perfect all the time? No, because we're human beings and stuff happens. But if you consistently drive processes over time and you consistently hold yourself accountable and tweak and change, over a period of time you'll start getting the results. Whereas if you just rock up to work and work hard, doesn't mean you're going to get results.
No, that's actually true. You're just rocking up.
HR follows a process for payroll every single month.
Yeah.
They correlate everybody's hours that they worked, etc., put it all together. At the end of the month, before whenever person's going to get paid, I don't know, 26th, or you guys get paid on the 26th every month?
Yeah.
Every month?
Every month.
You guys get paid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether you're at work or not at work,
Yep.
whether you hit your lead target or you didn't hit your lead target, whether you get paid. So if you look at that, because we pull everything together, sure, we got a small team, but you look at companies that have big teams, 50, 100, 200, 300, 5,000 people, they get paid. Why? Because there's a high level of accountability to deliver on the result, to make sure everyone gets paid on time. High level of accountability, because everyone would be jumping up and down and shouting and screaming. But why is it expected that HR can operate at such a high level of accountability, and many other departments in the business will make all the excuses in the world and won't jump up and down when they see someone not performing? But God forbid that HR doesn't. Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. And I think it's something that you brought in, and it's made me think differently, especially this year around where I'm at in the business, and it was the cost to company thing.
Yeah.
And I basically took that as, me in terms of my salary, but also my budget for marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Because for me, I was like, that's my cost to the company. That's how much I cost the company monthly, quarterly, yearly. And I had to sit down and think about it and go, okay, cool. If my cost to company is X, am I generating X? Is what I'm doing generating X to match?
Yes, generating X. The important part is generating X in what?
What do you mean?
Well, are you generating X in sales and revenue, or are you generating X in gross profit?
Ooh, interesting.
So if you just if your cost to company is 30k a month, and you are generating 30k in sales, and we make 50% GP, we only make 15k in sales, which means you are only generating half your cost to company. Which means you should be doing 60.
Yes.
So you generate. Now so if you do 60, you just cover your cost.
Yeah.
Now, so if I have you here and you do your 60 and cover your cost, great, I'm not making a loss on you, but I'm not making any money. What's the point of having you around? As the business owner, what's the point of having you around? So then you work out and go, okay, what is a fair expectation in terms of a multiplier, in terms of a multiplier to be able to determine your performance? So for me it should be around about 3 times. You should be generating in gross profit at least 3 times your cost to company.
I like that actually.
That
makes sense.
when it comes to sales, salesperson's job, first of all, is to cover their cost to company. Their second job is to cover the cost to company of everyone else in the organization. You know.
Yeah.
So, why? Because that's how the business makes a profit. So and that's how you break even. After break even, then they can get an incentive. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, and I like that, and I think that especially now coming towards the end of the year, I think a lot of people are thinking about incentives and looking at incentives and going, you know, am I going to get my 13 check? Am I going to get my bonus? And at no point in time, and I'm generalizing here, at no point in time did you think, well, do I actually deserve this bonus? Just because you rocked up does not mean you get it. And you use the sports analogy, and that's why I love it, right? Because if you look at like any footballer, let's just say Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, he has bonuses tied to his salary.
Yes.
Goal bonuses.
Based on performance.
Exactly. Appearance bonuses.
If he gets injured and sits on the sideline,
he doesn't get his bonus. No.
He's not going to get his bonus.
He's not performing.
If he takes 2 months off and goes and sits in the Maldives because he can't, is he going to get his bonus?
No. And that's the way that, I mean, most people in businesses are sitting in the Maldives even though they're showing up.
Well, certainly they're not in the Maldives, they're sitting in some other place. So you don't get paid to show up, you get paid to perform. It's the nature of who we are.
Yeah.
And that's the fundamental difference between a business owner and an employee. Is that a business owner, we get paid for results. If there's no results coming into my business, doesn't matter how much I friggin' work, we don't make money. So that's the core difference.
And I mean, it's the same with every client that you work with, right? If you're not delivering results into their teams, nobody's calling you back in to do a two-day event.
If I don't deliver results, if they are not seeing a tangible growth in their business, a tangible shift in their teams, a tangible shift in their sales performance, a tangible shift in their leadership and team dynamics, that ultimately turns into money, they're not going to bring me back. Why would they bring me back? Because I'm a nice guy. What the frick?
They're having you around.
So, it's about results, Bill.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, it's about results. Create clarity in the results that you're expected to achieve, how you're expected to achieve those results, and get out and go and set yourself up for success and create the results that are expected and agreed. When you create more than is expected and agreed, then you can put up your hand and say, can I have more? And that's the way it works. You score more goals in soccer than your contract. You can put up your hand and say, next year can I have an increase? Can I renegotiate a bonus? But guess what? When you score more, other teams are looking for you. And they want to sign you up, and they want to offer you, which means your team is saying this guy's worth more, let's pay him more to keep him here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. One thing that I will say, which I think has been really great, we are now sitting on only 83% of people who watch our content are subscribers, or not subscribers.
Oh, good.
Only 83. So we were 95 3 weeks ago. Now we have 83. So more people are subscribing, which is really, really awesome. Continuing to grow the channel, and we really hope you guys do subscribe. If you've seen this for the first time, this has been the Uncovering Greatness podcast. My name is Suli. This is Barry Mitchell, the lead trainer at Uncovering Greatness and the top experiential trainer in Africa. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, please comment, let us know your thoughts, let us know what you think, and we will see you guys next week on a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast.
Bye.
Goodbye.